Hello and good afternoon, I'm Shaun Cashmore, I'm joined by Craig Barnes, and you join us once again from your Co-op Community Stadium for the penultimate home game of Leamington season, an all-important one as the campaign is in the home straight of its duration. For both these sides, it's Leamington versus Chorley. Last weekend it was 2 games in 4 days. They hit the front early on Good Friday, making it just that, with a 2-0 win over Hereford here. Goals from the 2 loanees, Ollie Hulbert and Liam Cross. But with Cross then being recalled out of the blue back to parent club Northampton and Devon Kelly-Evans not travelling with the squad, things began to transpire against the Breaks, and on Monday afternoon carried on in that fashion. As for today's opponents, Chorley, well, the Magpies' playoff hopes were dented on a wet Easter Monday as they went down 3-2 at home to Scarborough Athletic. Adam Blakeman got Chorley off to the perfect start in the opening 5 minutes, hammering home his first of the season from 30 yards. But the topsy-turvy nature of that game continued when Scarborough continued to gather momentum, and eventually that pressure told to win the game with just 11 to play. Greenfield at the double, sending his side up to 4th and leaving Chorley coming into today's match with an uphill task to make the post-season playoff places themselves. Clark's marshalling the near post, across it comes towards that area, it's headed away well by Dan Turner. Walker tries to pick it up, but they penned it back out to Blakeman, who's in space where he took the corner. He swings this one in left-footed, it's all the way towards the near post, and it's a really good save by Can. It was one of those crosses that I think he underhit really, and it just dipped and swirled towards the near post. Ted Can had to scamper across his goal line, he's holding his shoulder because he was at full stretch to palm that one away. The throw-in comes back in again from Chorley. Dan Turner gets stood on as he goes to ground, still we play on, chip forward by Blakeman into the penalty area, laid down to Chorley towards the edge. They're playing neat football, it's over the top towards Sampson, he sends one in towards Can, who collects well, and Leamington can just take breath.
Well, it was Blakeman, wasn't it, from the corner. He got the corner into the box, the ball came out, it was recycled, he was spare, and no one closed him down really, just fancied his look from range, and Can had to be at his best to keep it out. Yeah,
not sure if it was one of those ones where Blakeman was going for goal because he saw Can had advanced to try and anticipate the cross, or if he just underhit the cross a little bit and it ended up going towards the near post. Either way, Ted can keep it out, but forward come Chorley again with Ustabashi all the way into the 18-yard box, sends one goalwards. Another good save by Ted Can. This time he got down to his right-hand side, big glove to it, a save that I think he would expect to make, but got down well, and it's behind for another corner to Chorley. Free kick Ted Can will take it left-footed, the big 6'7", 6'8" goalkeeper on loan from West Bromwich Albion. He sends it high and forward up towards that man Edwards can't win it in the air, he's beaten to it by Leather. Clark tries to kick the loose ball, Edwards doesn't challenge but Hulbert does, and it falls to that man Walker again in the middle of the park. Walker left-footed drive from all of 25 yards, got it all wrong, it just sat up nicely for him. It's one of those ones you can't really refuse when you're in midfield, just to have a swing at it. Caught it well, but at least 3 or 4 yards over the top of Matt Irwin's goal in the Chorley goal. So Blakeman again trots across to take this corner. Of course, Blakeman, who scored that absolute screamer from all of 30 yards last week against Scarborough to open the scoring as Chorley went down 3-2. He's going to take this corner. Ustabashi comes to show short and then peels away. It comes into the near post. It's over everyone apart from Edwards, who heads it straight back to Blakeman. Blakeman collects, lays it to Russ on the edge. Russ drives it goalwards. Back to Blakeman again. Swings it in right-footed. Lays it down to the edge of the box. Drive goalwards. Fantastic save by Can. Ustabashi drove it goalwards from the edge of the 18-yard box, and Can sprung away to get both hands to it. Still they come forward. Johnson swings one in. This one's straight into the clutches of Can, and that'll do Can the world of good in terms of his confidence. What a save from Ted Can, one he needed to make and one he made fantastically well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Chorley do throw lots of bodies into the box, and so when the deliveries come in, if you don't clear that initial ball, it pings around, can't quite get it away, and eventually shots are coming in, and that time Ted Can had to be at his best to beat that one away, but he beat that away, he did, and the scores are still level.
Chorley spring out on this right-hand side with Henley. Henley chips one forward, read by Theo Street, of course, the man who was sent off against Kettering. He'll be suspended for the rest of the season before that red card kicks in. Now it's feed to the feet of Walker. Mooney towards the edge of the box. Mooney onto his right foot. Can he shape to shoot? Can't get the space. Comes out to Edwards. He's going to have a go. Edwards drives it high and wide. Had plenty of space to set himself. Struck it well, but it's off target.
The Chorley defence marshalled Kelsey Mooney well there, though. He went shape to shoot, then had to come all the way across the face of goal, laid it off to Edwards, who first time hit it, as you say, Shaun. Over it went, but there's a lot of experience, as you were saying, in this Chorley defence. I mean, the understanding amongst them all, they're a tough nut to crack, but it's down to Leamington to try and crack it.
Roos comes forward for Chorley with intent into the 18-yard box. Rush draws it towards the penalty spot. Sampson lays it off to Johnson. Good save again by Ted Can. Anywhere else, he was going to have to work it well. But again, Chorley have done that numerous times really well. Works to the right-hand side, works it into Sampson, who's got plenty of ability to hold it up. He held it up, he fed it to Johnson on the edge. Johnson drove it goalwards, straight into the grateful clutches of Ted Can, the Leamington goalkeeper. So, this free kick, just on the edge of halfway, is going to be taken by Leamington right back Dan Meredith. Meredith stands over this, swings it in right-footed, flicked on by Mooney towards the far post. It's half a yard wide. It was another treble in Irwin, similar to the flick header that Mooney scored when he equalised against Darlington, but that one was just half a yard wide of Irwin's upright. It's a good ball in though from Dan Meredith. We spoke about him plenty of times this season. Last season's player and fans player of the season. Jack Lane just scoops one up into the air as we get back underway. Collected by Clark. Clark rides a challenge. Edwards chips one over the top for Turner to give chase. Headed away by Henley. Walker back into Turner inside the 18-yard box. Turner onto his left foot. Drives one goalwards over the top. Better intent from the breaks though. Chorley couldn't clear their lines. Leamington broke well. Good through ball from Adam Walker to find Turner. We've seen Turner cut inside onto his right foot all too many times from that angle. This time he drove one goalwards with his left and he didn't quite get it. He scooped it over the top into the fans behind that goal now on our right hand side that is packed out with gold and black. Towards Mooney, controls inside the Chorley half, spins away from the first channel, invites Walker forward on his left, still Mooney comes forward, just bundled off it though, did a little bit too much with it, and it was good defending again from that man at the back that we previously mentioned, Wilson. Forward they come again, around Joe Clark. Johnson's got loads of space to come into. He's got space on the right hand side, he has a go, it's blocked by Street. Again, probably not the best option really from him, and then Louis Hall just gets his header all wrong and feeds it back out to Sampson on the right hand side for Chorley. Forward they come with Henley on the overlap. Henley, can he get his cross in? Yes, he can, towards the penalty spot. Headed goalwards. Great save by Ted Can. Again, Leamington start to be the makers of their own downfall. They gave away the ball on the right-hand side. Forward came Henley. It was a ball in towards the 18-yard box. It was headed goalwards, I think, by Russ. Ted Can had to backpedal and get a big glove to it just to scoop it over the crossbar.
Impressive glove away it was, wasn't it? It looked like he was going to be going in until that giant hand just plucked it out the air and over the crossbar, but agreed. I mean, Mooney could have fed into Adam Walker down the other end. Leamington could have got a cross in, and before we know it, it's down the other end.
Corner comes in towards the far post, headed back towards the Leamington goal, headed away by Mooney, only as far as the goalkeeper taker on the far side, Blakeman. Blakeman drops a shoulder and gets to the byline, sends it goalwards, and it's tapped in at the far post. It's been buried home by Jack Sampson. Well, Leamington couldn't clear their lines from the corner. It fell back out to that right-hand side. Blakeman got to the dead ball line, drilled one across the 6-yard box. Leamington couldn't clear it. Ted Can couldn't get it away at the near post, and it fell to Jack Sampson, who was all of a yard out, and he gets his 18th goal for the club. It's Leamington 0, Chorley 1.
Story of the game, and as much as we've been unable to clear the first ball, really, and hung around the penalty box, as you say, there was Sampson to stick the loose ball beyond Can. Nothing Can could do with that one, and Leamington are a goal behind.
Just the start to the second half that the Leamington players, the Leamington fans, everyone associated did not need. Sampson in towards Russ. Russ spins away, has a go, curls it towards the top corner, and it's off the post. What an effort by Russ. Cut inside, onto his right foot, sent it goalwards, Can at full stretch, but it was off the post. Chorley still come forward in towards the penalty area. The man goes down over on the far side from a challenge by Louis Hall. I think it was Henley who was asking for a bit of further action. In fact, it was Ustabashi. I think the referee's just saying he went to ground too easily, but what an effort by Marco Russ, the 20-year-old, in his 4th appearance on loan from Coventry City, where he's part of the under-23 setup. The Romanian-born lad cut inside onto his right foot, and what an effort, Craig.
Yeah, I agree, Shaun. He's been having a great game today. I imagine he must think there are a few Coventry scouts here today watching him just down the road, seeing how he's progressing with Chorley, and the answer is he's progressing very well. It's a shame we couldn't get him last month.
Mooney moving ever so gingerly on that knee. It'll just be one that they'll keep an eye on. Naylor and Chris Knott and Pete Denham on the far side look on ominously towards Mooney. Seems to be moving a little bit easier now, but always heart in the mouth stuff when you've come back from an ACL injury and you go down slightly like that. Edwards wins the flick on in towards Hulbert inside the 18-yard box. Hulbert does well, feeds it back out towards Edwards. Edwards swings his cross in towards the far post where Mooney will jump. Mooney bundles into the goalkeeper Irwin. No foul on the keeper. I thought the referee was definitely going to blow because they're a protected bunch of goalkeepers, but he let play go on. It bounced down on the goal line. Mooney couldn't turn it home, and that's just the little bit of input that the Leamington fans need behind that goal just to try and get behind the team again. So it'll be a free kick that'll be taken over on that far side by the number 16, Adam Blakeman, in towards the head, headed over the top by far post, and then it's a great save again by Ted Can. This one fell to the feet of Ustabashi. Theo Street missed the header. It was nodded down into the path of Ustabashi, who drove one goalwards, did the number 11, and Ted Can spread himself at the near post to keep Leamington in this game.
Well, Can's been brilliant. Leamington man of the match, hands down. There's no doubt about it.
Leamington up the ante and just try and crank the pressure up here at the Cork Community Stadium.
Well, it's a lot more Route 1, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
And the next measure that we taken will again be a corner from Perry on the far side. He swings into a similar area, flicked on by Hulbert towards Street. Great save, is it? No, I think it just touched the top of the net. I wasn't sure if Irwin got a hand to it. The referee says no. The Leamington players look on quizzically. It was flicked on by Hulbert at the near post. Street arrived trying to get his second goal for the club, and he couldn't bury it home because it was just over the top of Matt Irwin's crossbar. Close for the breaks.
Cracking header by Theo Street, and just couldn't get it either below the crossbar, or the keeper pulled off a good save that the referee didn't notice, but close for Leamington.
Again, all the bodies come forward for the breaks. The only man back is Meredith. Perry's going to swing it in. It's in towards the near post. Clark wins the first header, falls down inside the 6-yard box. No one can win the second ball. It's still not away. Clark nods it back in again. So does Hulbert. Forced towards English. English pulled down. Penalty to the breaks. The referee, Callum Watchester, points to the spot. Junior English seems to be pulled down as he tried to get contact to it, and the referee has awarded a penalty here in the last 5 minutes at your Cork Community Stadium.
Well, it's it's English on the deck. There was all bodies in there, as we've seen all match. Chorley not frightened to put a few challenges in, and on that occasion, English went down, and the referee has pointed to the spot.
The man who's going to take this penalty is Adam Walker, the man who was given the captain's armband by Jack Edwards when he left the pitch about 10 minutes or so ago, and he's just given it to Ollie Hulbert. So it was a bit of gamesmanship. They were trying to keep the Chorley players away from Ollie Hulbert, and Ollie Hulbert, the man on loan from Yeovil, has a chance to add a third goal to his tally for this loan spell. He's going to take it right-footed up against Matt Irwin, the 29-year-old goalkeeper for Chorley. This is a big moment in Leamington's season. Ollie Hulbert, right-footed, stands over it. Scores! Ollie Hulbert into the bottom corner. Irwin got a glove to it. Everyone took a deep breath, but it's in the back of the net. Theo Street gets the ball out of the back of the net. Leamington waved themselves back towards halfway. Junior English won the penalty. Ollie Hulbert scored it. It's Leamington 1, Chorley 1.
It was a well-struck penalty. Irwin, as you say, got a glove to it. And you just wait and see if it's going to go wide of the post or if it's going to go into the back of the net. And luckily, from a Leamington point of view, in it went into the back of the net, and there's still a couple of minutes left.
Hulbert holds it up on halfway now. Ollie Hulbert with a bit behind his teeth just feeds it out to Clark. Clark, can he find the channel? Yes, he can, but it's cut out by Chorley, and forward they come into the hands of Scarborough, but nothing given. Out towards Whitehouse. Whitehouse on the left-hand side's got Nolan overlapping and ignores him. It's in towards the feet of the goal scorer, Sampson, but it's out to then White, and then collected on the right-hand side by Ustabashi. Sent into the penalty area. Hook clear by Perry. It's back and forth now. Hulbert tries to hold one up on halfway. Bundled to the floor, and now Walker can spring away on the left. Walker hauled to the ground by the man over on the far side. That's certainly going to be a yellow card because Leamington were breaking at pace, and then the ball has been slammed into the body of Louis Hall, who was trying to take a quick free kick, I think by Ustabashi. The man who brought the player down, I think, was Calverley, and I think it was a wise old foul by Mike Calverley. He's been a consistent performer this season. He scored the second goal, of course, in that FA Cup win back in 2021. And Andy Priest has just been shown red by the referee. Well, Callum Watchester has just sent Andy Priest off. Andy Priest, the Chorley manager is now walking across the pitch down the tunnel, and Paul Edwards, our media officer, just says that's the third time that he's been sent off. So he's said too much and he's been sent down the tunnel. I think the chap doing the flash score stuff in front of us as well has missed it, so no one saw it. And the PA announcer, I don't think, saw it as well. So we'll just play on until the whistle goes, which will add a bit of excitement furthermore as Leamington come forward. Meredith collects, space to run into. Meredith in towards Junior English, misses it, far post goal! But it's an offside flag, and the Leamington fans sink to their knees. Junior English missed the first contact. It came all the way to the far post where Ollie Hulbert was there. Ollie Hulbert diving header. He did look like he may have strayed offside, and Ollie Hulbert, as he slid to his knees and buried home the header, looked across. The offside flag was raised by Kieran Forrest, and the Leamington fans have their heads in their hands. Well, what a ball in from Dan Meredith as well, but Leamington, when the luck's not with you, the luck is not with you, and Ollie Hulbert adjudged to be offside. Again, Leamington come forward with Perry. Perry rides the first challenge. He's got Meredith on the overlap. Meredith into the box. Meredith's got support. Meredith all the way through towards the far post. Hulbert just missed, looked to be pushed, comes to Hall. Hall slams it goalwards. Again, it's cleared. Walker now, he chips one back in towards the 18-yard box. Meredith collects at the far post. The tension mounts against Chorley. Meredith in, headed away, back out towards Clark now on the right-hand side. Clark gets towards the dead ball line, protects it, gives it back towards Dan Meredith once more. He's got support. Clark just trying to play for the angle. Then Clark's bundled to the ground, but it'll be a throw-in on the far side, and Ben Usher Shipway sprints all the way across to this right-hand side to take this throw-in.
Well, this particular Leamington lineup at the moment and the intensity that they're playing with, it's phenomenal.
In it comes, in towards Clark. Jack Lane springs in. Chorley can't clear their lines. They do it the second attempt, and now Scarborough's one-on-one if he can break away. Louis Hall bundles him to the ground, but now it's all the way through to Usterbashi. Usterbashi's one-on-one. He's round Ted Can. Usterbashi's through. Usterbashi scores. Jonathan Usterbashi has broken the Brakes' heart late here at your Co-op Community Stadium. The Brakes fans sink to their knees. The Brakes players sink to their knees. Jonathan Usterbashi gets his 21st goal in a Chorley shirt, and one has never been so important. Chorley keep themselves in touch of the playoffs, and the Leamington fans have gone quiet. The Leamington players have sunken. Such tension. Leamington were mounting all the chances at the death, and they've been caught on the counter by Jonathan Usterbashi.
Yeah, sucker punch. Usterbashi, long ball played forward, got on the end of it. Ted Can came out, tried to narrow the angle. He knew if he was to bring him down, he'd be sent off. He wisely stood up as long as he possibly could. Usterbashi passed it round him. Adam Walker still wasn't going to give up. Adam Walker from somewhere was just running with all the fumes he had left. Tried to put him off, dived in, but unfortunately from a Leamington point of view, Usterbashi's shot on target into the back of the net.
Leamington have been absolutely sucker punched by Jonathan Usterbashi, who picks it up on the right hand side, and he's been a danger all afternoon. He kept his composure so well to go round Ted Can and slide it into an empty net, and Leamington come forward again into the 18-yard box, headed away by Chorley, headed further away by the man who opened the scoring this afternoon, Jack Sampson. And now Scarborough's one-on-one with Theo Street, and forward come Chorley again. He's got support. Scarborough goes towards the corner, but he's pointed inside. He looks for support. He still comes through, stabs it towards Whitehouse at the far post, and Whitehouse, with the goal gaping, puts it over the crossbar. Well, the Chorley fans that have travelled, fair play to them, they're overjoyed, because there goes the full-time whistle. The referee, Callum Watchester, has blown for full-time here at your Co-op Community Stadium, and the Brakes players sink to their knees. So do some of the Chorley players. They put in a mighty fine effort this afternoon, but it's finished here at your Co-op Community Stadium. Leamington 1, Chorley 2.
Well, that was an afternoon full of nerves. Both sides going for 3 points, both sides not giving an inch, rolling their sleeves up, getting stuck in. Leamington looked to have rescued a point late on, but a sucker punch and a match winner from Usterbashi at the end.
Yeah, it was an absolute sucker punch from Jonathan Ustabashi with his 21st goal in a Chorley shirt. He, in his 83rd appearance for Chorley, has got the winner here this afternoon at your Co-op Community Stadium. It's finished here today at your Community Stadium. A sucker punch for Leamington. It's Leamington 1, Chorley 2.
Paul, probably a very hard one to take there in the last few minutes of the game. Leamington looking on course to get a point, but have come away without anything. Your thoughts today?
Oh yeah, bitterly disappointed. Probably sums up our season really. I think if you look at the 2 goals we conceded, first one you'd look at right after half time when you'd look at our defending on probably 3 or 4 points or little sort of moments in that phase of play. It's just mind-blowing, really. Then, to be fair, listen, they're a good side. We know they're a good side. Some really good players. I thought for the first hour of the game they were very good. We struggled with them. What really pleased me the most today was our response. Listen, we made a couple of changes. We've changed the system. We've done it before. And I thought we were great then. We did really well. We were brave. We knew we'd have to be one-on-one in sort of wide areas. Both full-backs asked questions. Got the overload in higher areas of the pitch. Give Chorley some credit. That's come back to the difference. If you look how hard we've had to work, or how many set plays or corners or crosses in the box we put in, and last-ditch defending, headering, clearing off the line. That's what compared to the goal we've conceded, which is pathetic, the first one. Then we get the goal, and it's momentum's with us. We're in a position at the moment. We probably feel we need to win the home games. We keep pushing, and it's all us then. It's all Leamington, and you're looking at the players getting that extra yard in the legs and getting around the pitch, and we're landing on things, and we're getting Dan and Louis up the pitch, and you're thinking, come on, we could have had another pen, I think, easily. We've had one cleared off the line, a couple of good saves, the header from Theo. Subs have made a difference when they come on. You can't, that's a lot to see in young men. Players who have, sort of would be disappointed not to be playing, or one player in particular that's probably had a tough time, it comes on and really has a good go, and has a go for the club and his teammates, and it's what you like to see. You don't get much of that these days. So there was a lot to like, really a lot to like, and then right at the death, you'd have to look back at it again, but I think there's part of us got to be thinking as a team. There's some experienced players out there, right? We've really worked hard to get this point. That point keeps us ticking over. We want to win the Wank Cup. We've got a set play to try and maybe get something out of us fine. But what we can't do is allow the way they've broke to happen, the way they've broke on us and ended up with an overload in the 4th, 5th minute, whatever it was. And we're indecisive then. We're Ted, the centre half, shall we, shan't we? It's like a dance. And listen, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. But I would probably say, if you could sum up our season in a couple of moments, you'd probably look at the 2 goals we conceded today. And there's been too many moments this year where, it's been too easy to score against us. You question our football nous at times. And listen, we paid a heavy price today. Did they deserve that? No. As a group, just said to them there, listen, you've given so much there. You've got the stadium going. To get nothing out of that game is, when you're a team like us, which is, on its knees anyway, that's a tough one to take. More so for them boys in there, because you can't, listen, I'm disappointed with the goals, I'm disappointed with moments, but you can never fault, especially here at Leamington, they really have a go, But listen, good sides will do that. They've got some good players, and there's a reason they're constantly in the playoffs and semi-finals and finals. And sadly, that was disappointing at the end, because regardless of going to try and win the game, and regardless of trying to commit people for a set play at the end, we've still got to have enough about us on the pitch to zone an area off and to make sure that we keep the ball in that area in the last minute of the game. So it's the excuse, we could try and win the game. It's not absolute nonsense. We, that's poor from us, really poor structurally. So that's it. So listen, we move on. We go again. We move on to next week, and we just keep fighting.
How important are these next few games and trying to get some sort of points out of those next few games?
Well, they are, aren't they? And we've just thrown one away today. And as I keep saying, last few interviews, teams down there don't win. You look at the results today. There's no 1-1 down there, and that would have been a really important point. Listen, it's happened too many times this year. Let's not get away from it. Listen, there's 2 games to go, and we've just got to try and. We're well aware we've got the home game here at the end, but somehow we've probably got to go to the best team in the league next week and try and muster up something there. But listen, we've done it before, and we'll have another go next week. It's that was I sort of knock them a bit for it, but I feel so sorry for them because they're a real good, honest bunch, this lot. And sometimes in life you get what you deserve. People would argue, we've got what we deserve this year for various different reasons, but sometimes their honesty and their work, and they really care about the club, and you just sometimes you just need a break. And but everything that's gone on this year, we haven't had many breaks, so we just got to. Like I say, we'll regroup this week and we'll have another go next week.